This is bad. You think this is right? Oh my god, you're bad.
You don't agree with anybody, you don't listen to anybody, you think जो तू कर रहा है तो सही है.
So that's why you're not big.
You are fucking garbage, Okas.
Bruh. Man, I wanna start talking like this. I wanna be Indian corpse.
Why do you want to be Indian corpse?
Man, apparently bitches really like this, okay?
Really?
Saloni told me that she really likes when I have the morning voice.
The morning voice, okay.
The morning voice like this. This is how we're gonna talk the entire podcast.
I think what she's talking about is the smoker's voice. Smokers have this kind of a voice.
Do you know this musical group called Teesari Duniya that has this guy called Karun? You've watched Shanti, right?
Yeah, of course.
The Rishu ka.
Yeah.
So उसमें एक बंदा है ना जिसमें चलती बात ऐसे करके उसका ये वर्स करुण है उनका नाम. We'll bring them in the podcast sooner or later.
Okay, sure. Why not?
But they're fucking. Are you into music?
Which kind of music?
I mean, as in creating music. Are you into creating music?
No, why would I create music? No, not at all.
You've never thought of creating music?
Oh, 100% not. No, I have never thought of creating music.
Why? You can sing very well. I've noticed.
What does that have to do with creating music?
I mean, you can sing very well. I think
I can't play.
There is a skill
I can't play a single instrument. I can't hold tune.
I feel like आजकल तुझे आदमी को इतना जानना भी नहीं पड़ता म्यूजिक के मतलब म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट सीखने की ज़रूरत नहीं. You can just use the technology around you, FL Studio and everything.
Right. I think I am more into listening to different kinds of music than creating music by myself. What kind of music do you usually listen to?
अभी I've been recently वैसे तो मैं बहुत हिप हॉप सुनता था बट अभी recently I've been getting into देसी हिप हॉप जो अपना इंडिया से बाहर आ रहा है. एंड देयर इज दिस गाय कॉल्ड ध्रुव राजपाल DRV.
Yeah, I know.
And he has been getting a lot of traction. He's not that big. He's like at 2K Instagram followers, gets like I think 10 to 35,000 monthly streamers on Spotify, which is still a lot.
Still a lot, yeah.
But his music is something else, man. I am telling you, this dude is going to take over आने वाले 1-2 साल. Like he's going to be really, really huge because his music, like it's entirely something new, man. I haven't heard that shit ever. और मैं इतना क्या कहते हैं R&B and क्या कहते हैं hip hop and Travis Scott and some I don't know, like there's some new blend of his music. Okay. It's so good. इतनी तूने सुना है उसका कोई भी गाना?
मैंने 1-2 सुना है.
It's so well made and it's like उसका बहुत like auto tune वगैरह भी involve होता है पर it's पता नहीं यार वो लॉन्डे ने इतनी अच्छी तरीके से वो बैलेंस ढूंढा है ना. और मैं उसको बहुत टाइम से मैं उससे बात होती रहती है हमारी पर मैं उसको ट्राई कर रहा हूँ पॉडकास्ट पे लाने का. एंड ही इज रिलीजिंग हिज न्यू EP recently, so we'll get him through that.
I think hip hop, mostly the hip hop which I've heard is in very recent and mostly it's because of Jayesh's recommendations. I thought was not
DRVB.
He also recommended
DRVB. मुझे Jay
तो told me that तू Kanye West सुनना start कर, and I just completely missed out of a decade of Kanye West. I just started listening to him.
I know, right? Same.
I was like, wow, this is something else completely. And get why like people like his music because it's very like power trip, kind of a power trip.
Right. इसका डिस्कोग्राफी काफी लाइक स्ट्रॉन्ग रहा है कानिये का. एंड कानिये के साथ कैसा रहा है मालूम क्या? कानिये I don't understand. Kanye has been big. It's not like he has been small. वो काफी समय से huge रहा है. It's just that I like even though I knew of him, I never discovered his music until just now. Even though he has been huge in like the West, like he was one of the biggest, even like bigger than Eminem. You know that?
Yeah.
जबकि Eminem यहाँ पे ज़्यादा क्या कहते हैं उसको भगवान जैसे माना जाता है. Like Eminem is the
rap god.
Shit, you know? Yeah, the rap god. But it's crazy. He was bigger than Eminem.
So you listen to hip hop now. उससे पहले क्या सुनता था?
Zero.
There's nothing.
I didn't listen to music.
Right.
I was listening to a lot of YouTube music. Okay. Ryan Higa ka, Shane Dawson ka. That was my Ryan Higa ka Nice Guys, Coffee Shop Love, all that stuff. आई wasn't introduced और exposed to music until 2019 जब मुझे लगा कि अच्छा मुझे म्यूजिक डालना पड़ेगा मेरे वीडियोस में, तो मेरे को म्यूजिक सुनना पड़ेगा. द होल रीजन आई स्टार्टेड लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक इज बिकॉज मेरा गोल ये था कि मैं खुद का म्यूजिक बनाऊंगा बैकग्राउंड के लिए. जो लोफी हिप हॉप बीट्स में यूज करता था, इट्स ऑलवेज अ वेरी बिग स्ट्रगल फॉर मी टू फाइंड द राइट म्यूजिक टू फिट इन माई वीडियोज. बिकॉज मेरे को ऐसा लगता है, और अगर तूने नोटिस किया तो मुझे बता, कि म्यूजिक तेरे क्या कहते हैं वीडियो का इमोशन ड्राइव कर सकता है कि ऑडियंस कैसा फील कर रही है उस समय पे, वो तेरा म्यूजिक डिसाइड करेगा. एंड मैं हमेशा क्या करता था, मैं एक ही म्यूजिक उठाता था और वो डाल देता था पूरे उसमें. दैट यूज्ड टू बी माई लास्ट स्टेप. म्यूजिक हमेशा मेरा लास्ट स्टेप रहा. मैंने रियलाइज किया कि यार ये बहुत बड़ा मतलब बहुत बड़ा चीज है जो मैं मिस आउट कर रहा हूं.
आई यूज्ड टू डू द ऑपोजिट. आई यूज्ड टू फर्स्ट पिक ऑन, यू रिमेंबर दिस वन सीरीज आई यूज्ड टू मेक कॉल्ड एंग्री सिली मी. तो उसमें आई यूज्ड टू फर्स्ट डिसाइड कि ट्रैक क्या होगा, एंड उस ट्रैक के बेसिस पे आई वुड लाइक सिंक आउट द वीडियो.
बहुत अच्छी तरीके से करता था तू, बहुत अच्छी तरीके से करता था. मैंने मुझे याद है कि मैं तेरे देखता था, इट जस्ट इवन दो लाइक नो ऑफेंस बट द वीडियो क्या कहते हैं, जो कॉन्टेक्स्ट रहता था, जो कंटेंट रहता था, वो रैंडम भी रहता था. इट यूज्ड टू गिव यू अ फील ऑफ लाइक होमनेस. यू नो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से.
Because my focus was always around कि the video will have to sync with the music and not the other way around.
Right. I think ये तू I think गड़बड़ करता था. लेकिन
क्यों?
क्योंकि मैं ये रिसेंटली एक एडिटर से बात कर रहा था जो फिल्म वगैरह एडिट करता है, और उसने मुझे ये बताया कि तेरा वीडियो का पेस शुड नॉट बी डिराइव्ड बाय द म्यूजिक. ठीक है, कि अब कट्स आएंगे क्योंकि अब यहाँ पे बीट ऑफ हो रही है, ऑन हो रही है, बढ़ रही है, स्लो हो रही है. ठीक है, तू म्यूजिक में कट लगाएगा इस तरीके से, या म्यूजिक को ब्लेंड करेगा इस तरीके से कि तेरा वो कट के साथ मैच हो.
तो दैट इज अ बिग थिंग. दैट्स अ मोर डिफिकल्ट स्किल टू एक्वायर, राइट?
स्किल टू एक्वायर, राइट. दैट इज अ वेरी बिग स्किल टू एक्वायर. तू जैसा करता था ना, वैसे ही एल मिल्स कर. डू यू नो एल मिल्स?
ऑफ कोर्स आई नो एल मिल्स.
Elle Mills was a very big thing 2 years ago.
Yeah, she was.
Then she had a proper mental breakdown.
Yeah, I know.
और she talked about how her depression बहुत उसका बढ़ चुका था. And then she left YouTube scene. And now she's coming back again. She used to pull around 3 million views per video. 3 million, 1.2 million, 1.9 million. She was a very big deal. Yeah. She was a huge deal. She was growing at an insane rate.
Right, she was.
And I've been recently re-watching her shit and I was like, wow, this was insane. But मैंने उसके नए videos देखे and वो थोड़ी I feel like fallen off a bit because she's trying something entirely new now.
Doesn't she stay with Doesn't she stay with this guy named Luke Corns? I know Luke Corns.
I think so. They live in LA only, like जहाँ पे सब Jason Nash, David वगैरह सब वहीं पे रहते. तो I'm very intrigued to see how she comes back because she is making a comeback. Like she's not getting 2 million views, she's getting 200k views, 600k views, not a lot.
But I mean it is a lot if you think about it, Ocus. Like obviously पहले की तरह नहीं, but still a lot.
Of course.
Like for example, we know that like dead channels can like really be dead, right? You like having 3 million subscribers and like getting 100k views is still great. It's not bad at all. It's not a bad foundation to start with, right? In regards to music, I think the reason that मेरे videos में मैं music पे ज़्यादा focus करता हूँ priority देके is because I listen to a lot of music and I like listening to different kinds of music and whatever people suggest I listen to. मैं बहुत सुनता हूँ. Indie, I listen to a lot of indie music. I think you will have a phase also. I think we go through phases, right, when you're listening to music.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this is your hip hop phase, and then you'll have a indie phase, you'll have a rock phase,
right?
All that.
Rock phase, correct. I've had my rock phase, I feel like. But coming back to the क्या कहते हैं dead channel thing, तुझे क्या लगता है कि dead channel को उठाया जा सकता है या कैसे उठाया जा सकता है?
I don't know. I have a dead channel. I don't know.
Which dead channel? Are you talking about Rav? Yeah. राव वॉज अ वेरी एक्सेप्शन. मैं तुझे उस चैनल को क्विट करने नहीं बोलता अगर तो मुझे नहीं लगता कि दैट इज़ अ लॉस्ट कॉज. द रीज़न ओके, सो दिस इज़ व्हाट आई हैव रियलाइज्ड वेरी रिसेंटली एंड मैं सूर्या से इस बारे में डिस्कस कर रहा था. यूट्यूब कम्स इन दीज फेजेस. ओके, ये अप डाउन ये चलता रहेगा, ठीक है. एंड तुम ना ये जो डाउन फेज है, ये जो डाउन गिरने का फेज है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड मैं तुम्हें बताऊंगा क्यों. ये जो फेज है ना, या जब गिरते हो तब तुम्हारी कोर ऑडियंस बिल्ड होती है, ठीक है. तो इट्स नेवर लाइक अप, so you go 1 and then you come back to 0. It's not that. It's you go 1, you come back to 0.25, then you go back 1.25,
Right.
and then you come back to 0.5. You know what I'm trying to say? जब ये तुम किसी से कनेक्शन तभी बिल्ड करोगे, एंड ये काफ़ी लाइक यूनिवर्सल लॉ है, जब तुम उसको देखोगे और हार्डशिप्स ओवरकम करते हुए.
ओके,
यू नो व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से. सो मेरी नई वीडियो ब्लो अप हुई. ओ माय गॉड, तूने ओकस की नई वीडियो देखी? हाँ देखी, क्या बढ़िया वीडियो थी. ओके, नाउ ओकस हैज स्टॉप्ड क्रिएटिंग these insane videos. Okay, so now there is a dip, right? And then Okus comes back.
Right.
Yo, he came back. He fell and then he got up. Oh my god, that's insane.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
I remember, and I was trying to, and I'll come back to you about this. I was trying to, क्या कहते हैं, recollect a memory if I had been through that experience as a viewer. And I remember when the PewDiePie versus Wall Street Journal happened,
WSJ.
and how I was like, when he responded and he said, "Try again, motherfuckers," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, you win, motherfucker! Yes, let's go," because there was a lot of shit that he went through. He got kicked out of his Disney show. He got kicked out of Maker. He got kicked out of Google Premium.
Right.
He wasn't making any money. He lost his business, which was क्या कहते हैं, Rebel Mode. He lost his team. He was like, there was a lot of shit that happened in that 2017, 2018 period. And then he came back, and he came back harder than ever. Right? And that, the whole arc was like, I remember, made me so much more invested in Felix as a person. So that to me was like insane. And I want to know if you have experienced, like, as a creator, as a viewer,
I mean, Felix's life, honestly, example of Felix, I would say, is a very exceptional example. Like, I wouldn't call it a norm per se. समझ रहा है? Because Felix has always done amazing things from the get-go. ठीक है? He blew up a few months after he started.
No.
He did. What are you saying? I know all about PewDiePie stats.
He didn't blow up. He privatized a lot of videos.
He did, but
he was doing a lot of Call of Duty.
Okay, he did. That is true. I think one of his earliest Minecraft videos, one Minecraft video he had made, and he had several Call of Duty videos. I think around December of 2010, 9 or 10, I'm not exactly sure, is when he started focusing on playing other kinds of games. Okay, and within like 4 or 5 months, he started playing horror games. Okay, when he decided to switch up his content and not do what everybody else was doing anyway. Okay, he switched up his content.
Right.
Okay, and his horror games just blew up, and from then onwards he just went ahead and did everything. He I think realized he speaks about it in one of his interviews also, that कि मैंने ये realize किया कि सब लोग जो कर रहे हैं, मैं अगर वही करूँगा तो मुझे views नहीं आएंगे. एंड उस टाइम पे यूट्यूब पे ऐसा ही था कि तुम अगर नॉर्म से कुछ भी अलग करके कर रहे हो ना, देन नॉर्म से कुछ भी अलग नहीं. ऐसे सोच, उस टाइम पे कितने गेमिंग स्ट्रीमर्स थे यार, समझ रहे हैं? उस टाइम पे बहुत, इन कंपैरिजन बहुत कम गेमिंग स्ट्रीमर्स थे, और बहुत लोग सेम ही गेम खेल रहे थे. एंड ही जस्ट डिसाइड कि मैं अलग कुछ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट खेलूंगा, हॉरर गेम्स खेलूंगा मैं. ठीक है, एंड दैट helped him pick things up, and he has been obviously learning the algorithm over time again and again, and relearning it and unlearning whatever he learned, and he's doing that really well. But I would say PewDiePie is really an exception, because ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं who have been cancelled. ठीक है, how many, what are the odds do you think ऐसे अगर Wall Street Journal या फिर किसी ने किया होता ऐसा कुछ किसी और के लिए? You know this guy named Basherverse? You remember how
उसने तो एक्चुअली ग्रूमिंग सीन कर दिया था ना बहन के लोड़े.
सुन what I'm saying is कि Wall Street Journal and the allegations which were put on him could have completely cancelled him. ठीक है, it was definitely a possibility, right? एक लाइव स्ट्रीम हुई थी अराउंड दैट टाइम. आई थिंक कुछ ऐसे वीडियोस पे एड्स आ रहे थे which were not supposed to be played, and the biggest creator in the community had that one stream, a Swedish creator, basically a white guy, using a racially abusive word in the middle of the stream out of frustration, that just completely toppled things over in America. Okay?
Right.
And same time पे YouTube के other वो जो ads वाले भी that thing also happened. So a lot of
where does Basherverse come into this?
Basherverse around I think 2015 के आसपास, उससे एक साल पहले he had this mental breakdown. He was being accused of being a pedophile, pedophile, right?
Right, yes.
He was accused of it, and he basically had a meltdown on a stream or something. And apparently he had a girlfriend at the time. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, she's a OnlyFans model now.
Yeah, she's a OnlyFans model now. She's a big cloud chaser at the time also.
Big cloud chaser. Yeah. This was the age of the wild west of YouTube, where Grade A, Under A, and Leafy ran.
Grade A, Under A, huh? Angry Prasha, nice.
yeah. Angry man, that we'll talk about Angry Prash some other day. We'll bring him on the podcast as well. I'm very interested on how उसका जो मैनेजर है ना, कोई तो भी उसकी टीम है, क्या कहते हैं, एंग्री प्राश की, उसके मैनेजर ने डीएम किया था मेरे को बीच में, and he was like, you don't know how insanely talented you are and you're going to be do this and you're going to be do that. Like, I mean, I know that obviously.
Wow, तुझे प्राइवेट डीएम से बोलना नहीं चाहिए पब्लिकली, पता है तुझे? You shouldn't be saying all these things.
I mean, yeah, you're right, but like, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't. I would. Will you ask
Brian to cut it out?
Yeah, don't. I don't think there's like, I feel like कि अगर कुछ गलत नहीं बोला है, so I can actually reveal it. You know, this is just like he reached out to me. He said I'm doing good and everything. I feel like I think Keemstar had something to do with his breakdown.
Oh yes. Keemstar was a piece of shit at that point of time, man. He was just like. He was like proper page 3 journalism. Harry Potter mein there is this one chick, okay, the journalist called Rita Skeeter, okay, and she's like, she just wants the spice. She wants the spice, the exaggerated form of spice in every piece of every article they post. Right? Keems was like, where am I gonna get the views from? I'm gonna make everything spice up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was calling people pedophiles left and right. I think that it started with Lion Maker, जहाँ पे उसने Lion Maker को but Lion Maker like was actual pedophile.
Tell me something. Don't you think like Keemstar's biggest like claim to fame was because of these other creators like Lion Maker, Leafy, Basherverse, these big incidents.
Yeah.
ऐसा ही तो चलता है यार, इंडिया में तो ऐसा ही चलता है, लाइक न्यूज़ चैनल्स, even though I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but like you pick up a particular big news of a YouTuber and you keep pushing that and gather the views. You get a significant.
Our friend, it's like it's so क्या कहते हैं, इतना empty, इतना barren है mainstream media के लिए पास, like Scoop or Spice, that my friend called Axe the Silver, he posted a reel where he was playing piano. He was playing
beatboxing and playing a piano,
violin.
Playing a violin, right.
Right. He was going pa and and he got on the news. He got on mainstream, I think what's the ABV News or Aaj Tak or something like that.
Triggered Insan also recently got into the news. Very recently.
It's they don't even know that they get into the news.
No,
like,
Triggered Insan
was barren.
Triggered Insan was there, like proper with the microphone. Like he was explaining what he does. That kind of a scenario.
Interview. So that's what I'm saying, right? It's so barren. क्या कहते हैं mainstream media.
Would you ever care to
mainstream media के ऊपर
would you ever like think that's a big achievement to be on the news for you? Do you think?
For my parents, it would be a big thing for my old folks, my mama, my mommy.
What about you? What about you?
Man, I feel like
don't watch the news.
Celebrity.
No. Wow. Okay.
I mean, I feel like the internet and all that's next.
See,
it's like I'm gonna be very real.
No, what I'm asking is, like, would you care if you are in the news?
like it would be, I will do it. I will definitely do it because मेरे पापा मम्मी को कुछ बोलने को मिल जाएगा, you know. But उससे ज़्यादा मेरे लिए कुछ importance नहीं. भाई यार, it's like that's why I don't do podcasts, man, because I already have a podcast. I don't have anything new to add on to when you ask me to come on the interview. You know what I'm trying to say?
Podcasts,
so
but other podcasts, you don't. It's not supposed to be an interview. You can just talk about anything you want. Like if there is.
That's this podcast.
Arey, see,
I talk about anything I want here.
No, see, I'll give you an example. I've been on a few other podcasts, right? So like there's this one particular podcast. Should I name them?
Yeah, sure.
So it's called the Brownie Version Podcast. Okay. So these guys, they're very chill. Okay. I remember that. We talked about what's the best chips flavor. That's the entire discussion of the podcast. And it was like 1 hour long podcast. It was great. It was really good. It was so much fun to talk about.
Blue wala? Fuck off. Yeah. What do you think? You're a green guy.
Green?
What do you think? What's your favorite?
The orange one.
Bruh.
The orange one.
Oh my god.
That's the best one. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's fucking disgusting.
What do you mean?
Oh man, Lay's, right? Orange Lay's.
Yeah. I think that's
it's fucking garbage. Oh my god.
You are fucking garbage, okay? You have bad taste.
Bruh.
Please.
So no, but coming back to journalism, okay? So I feel like that's the whole यही issue है कि यार we have हम लोग ने ना हमारा पूरा सिस्टम अटेंशन पे हम लोग चलाते हैं. कौन सबसे ज्यादा अटेंशन खींच सकता है. So it's we can't be angry at the media when they introduce the fucking clowns, man, because that's what we asked for in the first place. We want attention. Their whole system works on TRP. The more people watch it, they don't give a fuck about morals. They don't give a fuck about ethics. Why would they? How fucking lying to you and talking about if biryani is Hindustani or Musliman, getting you more fucking views than talking about actual ethical shit. Who it's not gonna happen until and unless people become educated.
Okay, would you say that talking about biryani and like give me an example of something like that which you think is unethical? Give me an example. I would say
I think everything is.
No, I wouldn't say everything is unethical per se. I think like the entire Sushant Singh Rajput
journalism is dead, man. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad, man. That guy's family was harassed to the point where his father was having a mental breakdown publicly on a national television.
That was,
and those journalists didn't back off, man. उसका वो बेंच उसका बाप माइक पकड़ के थ्रो कर रहा है, बोल रहा है जाओ यहाँ से, and they didn't.
That is what I would say categorize as unethical. If they are like making getting clowns into the freaking news, and some of them are running the news, some of those clowns are running the news, then I don't think it's unethical per se. It's kind of sad. It's kind of embarrassing.
Who is not a clown that's not running the news, man? I feel like I can't handle the news, bro. It's like it's so bad.
How regularly do you watch news, first of all?
My father watches news 24/7.
How is he?
तो जब भी मैं ऊपर जाता हूँ, ठीक है, there is news running there. So if I'm sitting, I'm having a lunch, I'm having dinner, that's what I'm watching. Either my father is on Facebook, either my father is on the क्या कहते हैं, the television shit. And it's bad. It's I don't like it, man.
Then tell me something. Where do you think Indian journalism is gonna lead to? I mean, we are not the right people to even like
this.
Where?
This podcast type shit.
Like somebody starts a podcast on news.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody must have already done that. Right?
Not somebody. There's gonna be a whole network of people starting a news. So you will get news from parts.
Right.
You won't get news from directly like one source. There will be multiple sources of just who will get क्या कहते हैं. Okay, so this is something that I've realized. People say that कि negativity बहुत जल्दी आदमी को दिख जाती है, या negativity stucks by or gets more clicks or whatever that, right? Drama tea. But I feel, and that's true, that is true. But I also feel like if done right, positivity or just ethical shit, like the right shit, gets you much farther, much longer.
How?
And
Give me an example.
I feel like
of something.
Mr. Beast is doing it extremely well. That dude has had a career of zero drama, and he is doing it like so well. David Dobrik did it so well. There was no drama.
But they were not
and he's doing.
We're talking about news, right? We're talking about some information and. So let's say, okay, fine. Let's talk about infotainment in that sense. Okay, news channels are supposed to be informative, right? They're not supposed to be.
Right.
Maybe they can be entertaining as well. That's fine. But they should have a balance, and it should be more inclined towards informative, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say that Mr. Beast's videos have been majority, most of them have been entertainment. David Dobrik's entire channel is about entertainment. Logan Paul, all these other vloggers, big names, they are all about entertainment on YouTube.
The reason I gave Mr. Beast and David Dobrik's example, I was talking about positivity and negativity, not in such sense of just क्या कहते हैं, it was very metaphorical sense, the positivity and negativity, and that's why it wasn't, the David Dobrik and Mr. Beast wasn't related to news. Right. I was talking about like that you can use positivity and the ethical shit and the right shit and get much larger numbers than run behind short money, short clout. And that's what I was referring to. But coming back to what you asked me,
what's the I'm basically asking what do you think is the solution to? It's not the solution, not even the solution. Forget like whether it's a problem or not. I don't think it's a problem in the first place. What's gonna happen is, just like other conventional media transitioning to the digital world, okay, into OTT platforms and into platforms like YouTube, how do you think news is gonna transition? Because there are news channels, right, on YouTube. Proper I'm talking about like आज तक का news एक YouTube channel है, ठीक है? ABP News का एक news channel है YouTube पे, ठीक है? And where they basically put all their videos or whatever, ठीक है? My question to you is, is that what people are gonna watch? Or do you think a new form of spreading news?
Not new form नहीं, यही जो मैं और तू कर रहे हैं इसका ही क्या कहते हैं न्यूज़ निकलेगा. There will be podcasts such as this. There will be people conversing with each other, and it's gonna be a whole network of people. I feel like that's what internet in general does. It creates a network. It creates like a big giant. This is what Naval said. Naval, who's a big entrepreneur, American Indian entrepreneur. He's a big into IT, and he's considered like a hero.
Right. Are you talking about Naval Ravikant?
क्या कहते हैं entrepreneur world? Yeah, Naval Ravikant.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So this is what he said. He said that this is what internet does. Internet creates a giant, right? Network. And then it creates a tail behind that giant. Okay. So what's gonna be happening? Like, you have so many cable channels. You have this and you have that. Okay, it's gonna be a huge Netflix. There's gonna be Netflix that runs everything. Most of your media watching, whatever it is. Okay. And then there's gonna be a trail of independent creators doing their own thing. Okay. That are also huge, but Netflix is like a big thing. That's gonna be how it's gonna be in news as well. There's gonna be a huge giant. Of course, there's gonna be a giant, and then there's gonna be a trail of huge, still pretty big, independent people with a network who are gonna be doing their own news stuff. That's what I think is going to be.
You have any rough idea on how news is going to get covered there? Because when you're saying podcast, right? Usually podcasts are discussions. Honestly, because given that we have had like 29-30 episodes, I still believe that हम दोनों के conversational skills are so rudimentary and so like raw, rough, that it is so much polishing is required. I wonder, and most of the times, I to believe कि I am kind of very uninformed when I feel like I blabber a lot. ठीक है?
हाँ, तो that's why you're not big.
Right. My question is कि podcasts जो हैं news में, news podcasts जो हैं, do you think they are gonna be how are they gonna function if they are like podcasts? They're gonna have opinions, right? News is not supposed to have opinions. Right?
Yeah, of course. No, why can't you have opinions? That's all the fucking news media is now.
And that's why it fails, right?
It's opinions.
That's why it fails, right?
It's not. this is how it's the reason it's the reason it's failing is because it's right versus left, it's good versus bad. That's all there is. There is क्या कहते हैं, there is a fucking superficial fake war that has been going on that doesn't even exist. That right is painting, and hey guys, I don't know anything about politics, I don't like getting into it, but still hear me out. Just think of it as like कि कोई एक 19 साल का बच्चा अपना ओपिनियन दे रहा है, ठीक है. This X is painting Y as a villain, and then there is this Y painting X as a villain. In fact, but in reality, when you break that shit down and you talk to the person, there is no villains.
Right.
The reason it's being क्या कहते हैं, painted such as this, which is the whole point that we discussed a while back, where we feel personally connected when there is a क्या कहते हैं, तुम कोई war है चालू है, तुम वो जीतते हो गिर के. Right? The only way we like PewDiePie was good and Wall Street Journal was bad.
It's called the hero's journey. Okay, it's a
right. There's a hero's journey. There's a fake hero's journey being portrayed on the television media. Right. What's going to happen here is going to be discourse. There's going to be discourse here. That's if going to be या नहीं का पता नहीं. That's what it needs. There needs to be a podcast or whatever, the talk show of discourse. That's what's required. Where you and me are, if you are from X, you're from the opposite spectrum of whatever ideologies, and I'm from the opposite spectrum, you and I talk shit out. Because that's what humans do. We fucking talk shit out. Right? There is no... That's how we get into a point, man. कोई एक middle ground पे वैसे ही पहुंचते हैं. तू इस जगह का है, मैं इस जगह के हूँ, and then we both come to a super क्या कहते हैं position, higher position, you know? Because आधे से ज़्यादा टाइम सामने वाले को पता ही नहीं कि क्यों बंदा गुस्से में है. Do you remember I created that fucking video when Shubham and Hindustani Bhau shit happened, and I talked about how when you're like, just try and understand where the samne wala is coming from. There is all that's happening is, this is bad. Fuck this person. This you think this is right? You think this political party is doing XYZ right? Oh my God, you're bad. And I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it because they have been wronged. You know what I'm trying to say? If you have been wronged, if I am a LGBTQ personality, if I am this has been my sexual identity, and I've been tormented, I've gone through X amount of trauma because of my family, because of my friends, just or my society in general. Right. I am traumatized. Right. And of course I am angry. And of course I will be angry. This was my identity. It has been fucking tarnished. It has been tainted. Right. I can't look at the world as I should have. Right. But the problem comes here. The problem is that, and this is what happens in police force, by the book, if you go by the book, if you're personally involved, in some cases, if your brother has been killed, and you have to go to some, like, not investigation, but you have to apprehend the criminal, right? Your boss will take you off the case immediately because there is some emotional involvement. Right. That's what happens with victims. That's what happens because the people who are often wronged feel that they have the right to look out in the world. And yes, of course they will. There is bias. But I also feel like, there needs, how you said that there is, to make position pe dal deto. Yeah, you label people. And that is also, that's something that I find that it's kind of, I feel like sabko ek hi box mein dal do. You know what I'm trying to say? No. This is what my personal opinion is. And now we're going to go in the, whatever the conversation we had, that has been the personal opinion, how I look at things. And it can change in the future.
And it also matters, like, theek hai. One-on-one conversation mein agreement and disagreement really depends not only on how the communication is going, it also depends on the personalities of the individuals. One-on-one conversations mein. That is not, I don't think that is the case in the case of networks. Okay? Like networks as in groups. Okay? Groups mein वैसा नहीं होता है. Because groups mein there is some form of averaging which goes on. मैं तेरे को बता रहा हूँ what do I mean by that individual. If you want to hear me out, that individual वाला scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, देख.
सुना.
तू और मैं, we might disagree on something, right? Right? And let's say you and me are put in a room and we are gonna debate it out in some sense. Okay? Agar you individually, your personality is that of a very agreeable person. Okay? Or in the spectrum of agreeability, you are somewhere towards the agreeable side of things. Okay? And I am somewhere on the far end of disagreeability. Okay? Firstly, I would have never been in the room if I was that was the case. But regardless, somehow I'm in the room and I'm a very disagreeable person, and you are kind of an agreeable person. Not very, very agreeable person. What that means is, मैं अगर कुछ communicate करने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है? Then you would probably take it. You will probably take it and hear me out. But when you are trying to communicate things to me, given that I'm disagreeable, I would just be like go to hell. I don't care. Okay?
Yeah, then that's where education comes in, though, buddy.
No, personality. You can't change a person's personality based on education.
You're telling me your personality has not changed because of education?
My personality has not changed. That's what do you mean? You mean to say I have become a better communicator? That's different. Agreeability and disagreeability are very different things from being able to communicate things better.
No. Education say when, so this is what happens when like people talk, man. Like, I get what you're trying to say, and you definitely have a point there. Like, this can be a scenario, but when people are educated, when you know that this is what conversation does. Course. Conversation shows you the personal that ये जो सामने वाला person है मेरे जैसा ही है.
हाँ मैं समझ रहा हूँ तू क्या बोल रहा है and I understand why you bring in the education part. Of course, if like two people, education definitely helps you get more perspective. Okay, that's where it comes in. Okay, even though I might be a disagreeable person, I might have a lot more perspective to think about ki maybe it will give me a lot to think about and consider. That's there. But I don't agree with the fact with this that you can't change whether a person is agreeable or disagreeable. That is a personality trait. That's how you are like that's how what you're born with. To Ocus, to a certain level, the reason that you're ambitious is because you are. बचपन से ही है तू. ठीक है? The reason that I am, regardless of whatever reason that a person is ambitious or is disagreeable or is conscientious in some sense, it's a personality trait, and it is not something which is going to get enhanced by education. Like for example, you cannot change. Maybe you can change it to some degree, improve it to some degree. For example, I'll give an example. To make you understand, तू एक completely disagreeable person है, ठीक है? Completely disagreeable person. Okay? You don't agree with anybody. You don't listen to anybody. You think जो तू कर रहा है तो सही है. अगर तू ऐसा example ले.
But then, okay.
I'm giving an example.
Go on. I'll finish.
I'll give an example. A is that person who is completely disagreeable. One of those like extreme disagreeable people. Okay? First of all, he will be very difficult to live with in the society. Okay? He will be, right? Because he's gonna be a problem everywhere. Right? To education say, and trying to reprimand that person over years, you cannot bring him from one end of the spectrum to the other end. You might be able to make some changes, but not such a significant change कि तू उसको like completely change the person's thought process and how he or she approaches a problem, right? Like, समझ रहा है?
When I mean education, I don't mean the education that we have currently in the system. I mean true education. There is a lot of fucking stupid shit that is being taught in our school system. We don't know how to actually generate wealth. We don't know how to actually achieve financial freedom. How many fucking kids know how to actually self-actualize and understand what they are feeling? They don't. Instead, we are being taught. We can get into the whole other debate side of it. What I mean, what I'm trying to say is, of course, I cannot reprimand them. I cannot be like, yo, this is wrong. But I can teach them how to be a happier person. You know what I'm saying? And when they are happier person, this is all connected. This is not something that I'll be a disagreeable person and then I'll still be able to live in the society. And if I'm not being able to live in the society, I'm still happy. You know what I'm trying to say?
I understand what you're saying. I get your point. The example I gave for a disagreeable person is not just not a problem with just one extreme of it. An agreeable person is also not good for society. I'll tell you why. Because that's basically someone who is a pushover, right? Like you just हर चीज में हाँ बोल देगा, हर चीज में क्या बोलते हैं हाँ ठीक है, doesn't have their own opinion, will never stand for themselves, ठीक है? What kind
but how can you say that they'll never stand? How are you saying that they will never change?
I'm giving the example of B now, who's like on the other end, completely agreeable. Like they'll never stand for themselves. Okay, they will always if you and me are A and B, okay, and we are playing chess, okay, or we are doing some sort of barter system, okay, and you are agreeable and I am disagreeable, then I would make sure my thought process would be कि how can I leverage this deal to maximize my benefit, regardless of what happens to the other person. You, on the other hand, would be at least it should be a fair game. At least it should be fair. And if anything, I'm ready to even like take a loss and you have things your way. Okay? That is not. Do you think that's destructive? That is so.
That's unfair. That is
unfair to you, right?
The reason. No, but then why is this person like I don't care about what happens to this person? There needs to be, why is this person, you know what I'm trying to say? This person who is extremely disagreeable has gone through some sort of hardship, some sort of trauma to become the personality that he is.
But free market mein to ye, free market, theek hai, I understand in humanity terms, in those scenarios, maybe that would be a good point. But being disagreeable in business, in markets is very important.
It's a very important
trait.
You'll be crushed
then
you need to learn. That's a skill.
Right.
That's a skill that
no,
learning.
Not a skill. So communicating and being able to close the deal is a skill. You being agreeable and learning to be able to communicate and get a better deal is the skill. Being agreeable in itself is a trait which you have. You have to work on top of. समझ रहा है? ये foundational है. तू foundational level पे एक certain level of agreeable होगा. तू उसके ऊपर skills को use करके you can leverage a better position. ठीक है?
So you're trying to say that foundation cannot be changed.
Foundation, the trait cannot be changed, but you can work on it. You can work on it to be able to be better off.
Right.
Like for example, मैं समझ आता हूँ क्या बोल रहा है. I'll give you an example. Somebody who is who doesn't like the company of people around him, very antisocial. But he has realized that in his workplace or in his social life, he is not able to communicate with people, so he doesn't have really friends. He doesn't have friends, and everybody needs friends because humans are, at the end of the day, regardless of how introverted you are. I'm looking at you right now because I know that introverts keep saying again and again that, oh, I don't like to be around people. Yeah, sure, you don't like to be around people, but I'm sure you also don't want to stay in your room by yourself without any internet. Right. You're not that kind of person, right? Because at the end of the day, it's true that humans are social animals. Okay? Someone who is
biologically hardwired.
Right. Survival है भाई. बिना उसके कैसे होगा? राइट? तू क्या लगता है? तू अकेले शेर से तू लड़ लेगा, जीत लेगा तू जिंदगी भाई, बैंड बजा देंगे भाई.
Exactly.
तो मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ कि someone who is innately, let's say, introverted and is scared to or like is uncomfortable in social scenarios, ठीक है बचपन से वो, what the conditioning was, whether it is genetic or not, that's a different topic altogether. But अगर है वो वैसा, ठीक है, it's a problem for him, and him or her, they're facing it on their regular life. It is making things okay, let's not say it's making things worse. Let's say it is making things to be at a place where you know that things can get better, but you're just living with what you have. That is I would say being a kind of person who wants to like work on themselves and who's constantly trying to work on themselves. You also, right? That is not a good position to be in. That's not a position of growth. It's a position of stagnancy, right?
बिल्कुल सही.
So this is your foundation. तुझे पता है कि तू ऐसा है
हाँ
कि मैं हूँ थोड़ा इंट्रोवर्टेड, बट हे I need people to be around me. What can I do on top of it?
right
I can maybe try and practice talking to people. Okay?
सही
Right? I can practice talking to people. I can better my communicating skills. Okay? Number one. What else can I do? Now I am an introverted person. मेरा बेस ये है, ठीक है? मैं बात कर रहा हूँ लोगों से. ऐसा तो नहीं कि मैं क्या बोलते हैं उसको, एक पार्टी में जाके नाच लूँ तो भाई हो गया मैं एक्सट्रोवर्टेड. ऐसा तो नहीं होता. Because of your foundation, अब तुम किसी जाके बात कर रहे हो, आफ्टर लाइक 2-3 कंफर्टेबल कॉन्वर्सेशंस, यू विल फील, एज आई एम स्पीकिंग आउट ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, यू विल फील कि अच्छा ठीक है, हो गया, बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया, अब ज़्यादा बोल दिया मैंने, ठीक है. यू फील दैट, आई फील दैट समटाइम्स कि क्या बोलते हो, ओके आज के लिए बहुत कॉन्वर्सेशन हो गया, आई नीड टू टेक अ ब्रेक, आई नीड टू टेक अ ब्रेथ. एक्सट्रोवर्टेड पीपल डोंट फील दैट. They can just be the life of the party, walk in and just have fun.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they thrive, right? So you need to that feeling of कि अच्छा ज़्यादा हो गया. Where does that come from? It comes from the foundation itself. You're innately this person, and I don't. I तो 100% believe कि if you are innately something, it is more important for you to know what you are first, so that you know your base. तुम्हारा base क्या है, कि तुम उसके ऊपर बिल्ड कर सको. अगर तुम डिल्यूजन में रहोगे कि मैं तो हूँ ही ऐसा और मैं ऐसा ही रहूंगा, ये तो भाई बिल्कुल गलत सीन है ना.
बिल्कुल सही यू सेड दैट कि I agree with that. That I am an introverted personality, or you can build on top of that. But it's when it's not like you cannot completely change it as well.
No.
That's where preference comes in.
Okay.
You can be like, okay, बहुत हो गया. अब so this is how I have envisioned it. मैं introvert हूँ, एक मेरा friend extrovert है. Nitesh, बहुत extroverted personality, knows everybody in the town. Everybody knows Nitesh, and even though I have more quote unquote clout, उसके पास ज़्यादा contacts है. Like NIFT से लेके NDA तक सबको जानता है.
Right.
ठीक है. तो the thing is, अब you're right. I've been having this conversation, right? And I'm like, yeah, man, it's been like 6-7 लोग हैं, बहुत conversation हो गया. I'm gonna go back home and I'm going to recharge myself.
Right. That's the term they use, recharge.
When I'm recharged, I'll come back again and have fun. Nitesh, on the other hand, when he's at home, that's where his battery is being drained. Right. He needs to go outside and recharge himself. You know, so this is a balance that has been created by the nature. That's कि मैं बाहर जाऊंगा तो तू अंदर है, तू अंदर रहेगा तो मैं बाहर जाऊंगा. Right. So that's I feel like
and both parties can work on it. Like for example, you can do something like, okay, you know what, it is important for me to meet people. I'll go and meet people and I'll try to have conversations. I'll do it on a regular basis so that I get habituated to it. Right. तुम्हारे foundation के ऊपर habits are the one thing which you can. बिल्कुल सही. Habits are the one thing which work on top of it. ठीक है. You can adapt, like for example when you're saying that you adapt in some sense. But ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा. You can. But ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि तू एक spectrum के पूरे एक opposite end से jump मार के opposite end तक पहुंच जाए. That is भाई बंदा there.
You can work towards it. Man.
Yeah, sure, but
I feel like
I don't think you can just jump.
But you don't need to jump. You don't need to jump. That's what the other person is doing. You need to take 25 steps. Person is going to take 25%, and then you're gonna have a middle ground, a superposition.
Right. जैसे for example, Nitish वाला example तो दिया जो अभी कि क्या बोलते हैं उसको.
हाँ. Let me just add this. You can also make the process fun. You know what I'm trying to say? You can. Like. That's something I think people miss. Like, man, मेरे को इनसे converse करना जाना है. You can make the conversation fun. You can make your work fun. You just need to find what you prefer. I like making videos. I'm not going to go work 9 to 5. That's something I don't enjoy. That's something I realized way back. Right? I can't do it. I'm a creative person. I'm going to work in a creative field. This, क्या कहते हैं, Gary Vee and everybody has also talked it, that I work. Money is just a byproduct of me working 24/7 because I love it so much. I have made what I love my work.
Right.
Similarly, you can create a process of being able to reach the goal of you being able to communicate for 6 hours a day. Fun.
Right. Nitish वाले example में I would say कि let's say he is the person who gets his energy out of being with people, right? But अब तू ऐसे सोच, एक्सट्रोवर्ट्स की क्या बैंड बजी हुई कोरोना के टाइम पे, है ना?
Oh yeah,
भाई
yeah,
बैंड
yeah,
तो
yeah,
गंदी
yeah,
बजी
yeah,
होगी
yeah.
उनकी उस टाइम पे, ठीक है?
बिल्कुल
इट
बिल्कुल
इज वेरी
बिल्कुल.
इंपॉर्टेंट टू ऑल्सो बी विथ योर सेल्फ, ठीक है?
Oh yeah.
एंड ऐसा नहीं कि इंट्रोवर्ट्स बीइंग, व्हेन आई से बी विथ योर सेल्फ, आई डोंट मीन कि हाँ इंट्रोवर्ट्स आर ऑलवेज विद देमसेल्व्स. नो, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी. इंट्रोवर्ट्स कैन डू अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स बाय देमसेल्व्स, बट दे डोंट रियली लाइक इंट्रोस्पेक्ट, दे डोंट रियली थिंक अबाउट introspect, or you can I think the right word would be they are by themselves, but they are not observing themselves. Okay, it is very important to
बिल्कुल
be
सही. Yes,
in your
yes.
own solace and figure things out about you by yourself, and rather than always being around
बिल्कुल
with
सही.
society. ठीक है? क्योंकि तुझे क्या लगता है, at the end of the day, even though it sounds very very भाई बहुत ज़्यादा डिस्पेयर एंड बहुत ज़्यादा लाइक सैड काइंड ऑफ अ सिनेरियो, बट आई विल टेल यू, ठीक है? हम ओकस अभी यंग हैं, वी आर वेरी यंग, राइट? वी विल बी यंग फॉर टिल लाइक वी आर फ्रिकिंग 40 और समथिंग, ठीक है? यंग ब्लड, राइट? 20s आर यंग ब्लड पूरा. When you reach a certain age, okay, and all your, regardless of whether you're an introvert or regardless of whether you're an extrovert, and everybody else around you and your circle just has either perished or just
Right.
what do you call it, moved away,
Just
moved
left
out.
you,
Yeah,
man.
moved away, grown apart basically. That's a better term.
Yeah.
Grown apart is a more suitable term, ठीक है? You have to be with yourself. You have to be with yourself.
Yeah.
So
I feel like happiness is a choice. Do you think so? I'll tell you why I said that.
Why?
I said that like just as we talked about adaptation, right? You can be happy in whichever state you are in. I think people a lot of the time confuse happiness with fulfillment. Okay. These are two circles that interact in between. That's where contentment comes in. ठीक है? ऐसा दो सर्कल है, उसके बीच में ऐसा contentment है. This is happiness, this is being fulfilled. I can be extremely fulfilled. I like working day and night, making a lot of money, you know, societal status and everything is great. I'm fulfilled, not happy. You need to find a balance.
Right, you can't have one without the other. You can't have.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise it will just make you miserable.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. You have to have a balance of both.
Yeah.
ऐसे तुम.
Yeah. I am very happy right now.
मैं बहुत खुश हूँ. मैं तुम्हें
even though I am not working.
Right. तो ऐसे तो बोलता रहेगा जिंदगी भर, क्या बोलते हो? हाँ मैं खुश हूँ. जो भी है मेरे पास मैं खुश हूँ. Really? When you are on in the streets and you don't have food and Maslow's hierarchy of needs पे तुम नीचे गिरे जा रहे हो, I don't think you will be happy, man. नहीं मैं बहुत खुश हूँ.
Yeah.
मैं भीख मांगूंगा रास्ते में. Really?
There is 3-4 things of and this again has been said by Naval. I forgot what exactly he said, but he said that there are different ways. What we ultimately dream of is happiness and freedom.
Right.
Freedom, true freedom. And there are different ways to achieve it. Some people cut themselves off of society in itself and get their freedom, खुद की freedom, through by being a monk. Right? That's how they're finding their freedom. That they're not connected with the societal क्या कहते हैं structure. Then there are people who are entrepreneurs and they have found the balance between life, such as Naval himself, who क्या कहते हैं who works on what he loves and not the other way around. He has done the hardship, he has put the work in, the actual 9 to 5 work in, and now he's at a point where he has been getting gradually happier and happier and happier and happier and happier by finding that balance of fulfillment and content, क्या कहते हैं, happiness. You know what
I understand what you're saying. I have I know which video also you're talking about.
Oh yeah, great.
See, human beings, we were, regardless of how biblical it sounds, we're born to toil. Yeah, we're born to work. Yeah, right. It's a part of our life, and it's not. I'm not saying it's the only part of our life. Yeah, we are not born just to do that. Yeah. What do? We sleep. Okay, सोते हैं हम. ठीक है. We work and we play. These 3 things. ठीक है. And it is very important that you have these 3 things in place. Because if you don't, you will see some form of void. मुझे तो इसीलिए मैं उसको हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि लाइक व्हेन यू आस्क मी कि व्हाई डू यू जस्ट क्विट योर जॉब एंड डू यूट्यूब. यूट्यूब इज माई प्ले, ठीक है, बट आई नीड माई वर्क, आई नीड इट. विदाउट इट आई कैन नॉट फंक्शन, ठीक है. एंड स्लीप का तो नेवर माइंड, उसका तो देखा जाएगा, यंग सो इट्स फाइन. But it's very important to have that distinction. For example, Lucas, you will also in the future, you'll run some business while you're doing YouTube. Okay?
बिल्कुल सही.
You'll have some form of work, some other form of work, regardless of it. It can be part of, if your work becomes your play, that's great. Very lucky for you. But I think मेरे लिए ये distinction बहुत ज़रूरी था, and ये ऐसा रहेगा for some time. Until like, I feel
like, okay, no, I agree. But Okay, I agree, but I also disagree because I feel like you can make your work your play. It's not that you're lucky that you found it.
While I'm trying new things, this one time if I stumble upon it, maybe, sure, why not? You strongly believe that you don't stumble upon it. You strongly believe that you don't stumble upon it.
I strongly believe that you find it. तुम गिरते हो. Of course, तुम गिरोगे, फिर तुम उठोगे, फिर तुम गिरोगे, फिर तुम उठोगे, and you eventually find it. You find that balance where there is, of course, you're putting in the work, and of course, you're also playing. But I am not saying कि अगर ये उजड़ गया, ये हट गया पूरा, so you cannot find it again. You can. That's just the beauty of life, that you can find it again and again and again and again, no matter, because true, it comes from within. There is no external work or play. Right. It यहाँ से आ रहा है. You are making what's work and play, so you can find it again, and that's something beautiful. That again, I'm gonna give the podcast का example दूंगा and not make it like क्या कहते हैं 1000 filters डाल के कि मुझे लगता है कि तेरा जो वर्क का पार्ट है तो ये यहाँ पे भी ढूंढ सकता है, यहाँ पे भी, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी नए प्रोसेसेस ढूंढ सकता है जो तेरा वर्क होगा, और यहाँ पे भी नए प्रोसेसेस तू बना सकता है जो तेरा प्ले होगा, एंड यू कैन फाइंड दैट बैलेंस. बिकॉज आई जेन्युइनली फील लाइक यू कैन डू इट, बिकॉज आई नो आई हैव
genuinely feel that over and again. You genuinely feel that I can do it, or you genuinely feel that anyone can do it?
Anyone can do it. That's the beauty of just like, man, I am very optimistic. I used to be very pessimistic, but I'm very optimistic. I feel like everybody can generate the skills to be rich, to be happier than where they are. And there is no end point to it. Yes. Yeah, acquire the skills. Work
or maybe
upon
come
it.
up with a new skill. That is also some people also do that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you don't know that you give society what it doesn't have and cannot achieve without you.
Right.
That's how you make money.
Definitely.
That's how you make wealth.